Good morning. We'll start the criminal docket for county court. We'll call 20-01 U7783, the state of Texas versus Thomas Casey Clark.
Okay, Judge James Jepson for Mr. Clark.
Good morning.
And Judge, he also has a felony case that I was recently appointed to by Judge Gomez, and I'd like to pass it at least for a couple of months while I see what's going on with this felony.
I have no objection to that. It's a companion case, and I believe we are still waiting on some lab results that are with that felony case as well. So maybe July.
Let's move it. Well, let's move it to August. Is that okay?
Yes, that works.
Okay, we'll move that one to August. Thank y'all very much. (20-02 U7797), the state of Texas versus Jacqueline Davila.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Do you have an attorney with you, ma'am?
No, sir.
Have you tried to hire an attorney, ma'am?
I wasn't able to, sir. I was gonna see if I could apply for a public attorney.
Are you employed, ma'am?
No, sir.
Mr. De Hoyos, I'm going to appoint you to Jacqueline Davila as her court-appointed attorney. Do you have any conflict with that?
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Davila, your attorney is going to be Orlando De Hoyos. He will reach out to you
Okay.
when time comes. And when he reaches out to you, make sure you give him good information. Mr. De Hoyos, do you want her to give you any information right now?
Right now, just her cell phone number if she has one.
Okay.
Yeah. 32 220 1161.
You were breaking up. Can you
Thank
do
you.
that again?
It's 432
Okay.
220 1161.
Okay. Jacqueline Davila. Got it, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Davila, you're free to log off if you so wish.
Thank you very much.
Go to 20-03 U7800, the state of Texas versus Gilbert Anthony Rios.
Judge James Jepson for Mr. Rios. I believe that he is with us on Zoom.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, and Judge, on Mr. Rios, we have worked out. The only thing I'm waiting on the Rios case, Judge, is labs. We don't have any labs back on it. And other than that, we may have an agreement, Judge. But I need
Mr.
to
Jepson, we're under the impression that we do have an agreement on that. We have already sent plea paperwork over. This is a drug falsification case.
Right.
We have notes that we're only asking for a plea date from the court. This was one of those where we've already sent paperwork and we're trying to figure out how to actually get with the judge to enter that plea.
That's true, Judge. We do have pretty much an agreement knocked out, but I can't plead somebody to something I don't have any labs back on, and I'd like to get those in.
What labs are you referring to?
There's labs that are claiming that this is some of that fake urine.
I don't believe there was ever a request for labs on that, James.
I believe it's incumbent on the state to get their evidence together, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna
So
set
do
this
we-
for
so what you're
trial.
saying, that's
Hold on.
fine. So Mr. Jepson, we don't have an agreement on this case? Is that what you're saying? So the paperwork we've drafted and sent to your office and,
I'm saying that according to your file page, I have a submission form. You've submitted this stuff for analysis. We don't have the analysis back.
This
Would
case
you
will be
like
set
to-
for trial on June 28th. This case is set for trial on June 28th if it is not disposed of before then.
That's
can we get a
fine,
final
Judge.
pretrial setting then on that first docket in June? For
Yes,
any
final,
last?
final pre-trial setting is the first docket in June. And then it'll be set for trial to June 28th. If not disposed of at the June docket.
Okay, thank you.
Keep in mind that if that will be set in stone, if not disposed of on the June docket, this will go to trial June 28th. Is that all for this case?
That's all from the
For
state.
today, yes, sir.
20-04U7815, the state of Texas versus Brian Teakin. Is Mr. Teakin here? Brian Teakin.
Your Honor, this is one where we do have an agreement. We've sent paperwork over to him. It was a fine-only plea. We've tried communicating with him in the last few days. He's usually pretty good about staying on top of things. Can I ask either to have this reset to June? I anticipate getting it resolved before then, or at least recess so we can recall it so we can have a chance to try to reach out to him one more time.
On this case, would the state oppose removing this from the docket? Just let me know when you're ready to proceed.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll move to 20-04U7822, the state of Texas versus Misty Marie Tompkins.
Judge, we have a plea agreement on that one.
Your Honor, I believe we're just needing to hear from you directly on how you want to handle that. We have paperwork already to the defense, and we're curious how you'd like to enter that via Zoom, if we could get a separate setting maybe for that.
Is there any way, if we're going to do a plea, would either party object to doing an in-person plea?
We have no objection to that.
Mr. Jepson?
Judge, this is a fine-only agreement, and I do have the paperwork with me. No, I don't have the paperwork with me. She has it, and I guess I'll try to contact her and have her go into your office or something. Y'all just tell me what you want me to have her do.
Ms. Keehan, can we do this on the 20th, you think?
Yes, we can.
Okay, this will be set for May 20th for a plea.
Is it gonna be Zoom, Judge?
Mr. Jepson, if you're okay with your client coming in and you appear Zoom, I'm okay with that. But
That'll be fine, Judge. I'll be on Zoom and she can come up there in person.
okay, thank you. Ms. Keehan, is there a specific time that she needs to appear? I know we have some other we're going to do that day.
Yes, no, whatever works with your office's schedule.
Okay.
If we want to set it right after that next plea we already have that day, that'd be fine.
Okay. My assistant will email both attorneys to let them know the time. Ms. Tompkins, please stay in touch with your attorney, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We'll move to 2004 U7823, the state of Texas versus Miguel Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes, sir.
I show in the file that you have waived your right to an attorney to speak with the county attorney.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you sign a waiver form? Or you?
Yes, ma'am. We emailed it back, I believe.
I have it in the file again.
Okay, so at this point, we just need to set up a meeting. Is that where we're at on this? I don't have any notes that I've spoken with you.
We were last time I was in court. You were supposed to email me, but we haven't received any email.
Okay, I'll follow up on that. If you don't mind, can I give you our office phone number, and when you log off, you can call. We can make sure we have the right information.
Yes, but let me just get a pen and paper, please.
For information purposes, we'll reset this case to June.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. I can have the number.
Okay, 432
432
693
93
2222.
2222.
Okay, and just give us a call today sometime and we can confirm
Okay.
contact information and set something up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You can log off if you wish.
Thank you.
We'll move to 2005 828, the state of Texas versus Gabriel Acosta.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing great.
Judge, I've visited with Ms. Skihan. I've also visited with Mr. Acosta as recently as this morning. I see his phone on appearance. And we have an agreement. I think I'll let Ms. Skihan handle how we need to do the setting.
Your Honor, excuse me. I think at this point, we just need to generate some documents for an agreement, as well as get with you on when you'd like to have this set for a plea.
Could we make it happen on the 20th?
Fine with my office, Mr. Graves. Would that work with your schedule?
I believe so. My assistant, I had to run out and check with her, but she's on the phone right now with another case. I believe so. Judge, are you going to require me to be there in person?
You can. I would like the defendant to be in person. If you would like to appear Zoom, we can do that. And we can do this. Let's set it for the 20th. If there's some type of an issue where you can't do the 20th, we'll reset this to June docket for a plea in person.
Thank you, Your Honor. And if I can at all, I'll be happy to be there in person. I kind of like seeing everybody's smiling face again after a year. Okay, thank you. May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Graves.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll move to 2008 U7836, the state of Texas versus Victor Manuel Lopez.
Good morning, Your Honor. Bob Garcia on behalf of Mr. Lopez. We're present, both present. This will be a plea. We just, I guess, just need the paperwork to be generated.
Yes, Your Honor. Same announcement as before. I think we're just all trying to navigate getting paperwork turned around and figuring out how to get it in front of you. So
could we do the 20th?
Was that May the 20th, Judge, or June 20th?
May 20th.
May 20th? We can certainly give it a shot.
Okay, my assistant will reach out with the time. If that was not to work, we'll reset this for an in-person for the June docket.
Very well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Paige.
Yes, thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
2008 U7841, the state of Texas versus Heather Page Welch.
Your Honor, I'm here on her behalf, and she should be, I don't see her yet. Heather, if
Is it
you're
not-
there,
Is
Are you
it
there?
showing? Yeah, I'm here.
okay.
Is it
Your Honor,
showing me?
on this case, Ms. Guillen has forwarded over the discovery and a plea offer. I sent her a letter yesterday. I don't know, she said time to review it in relation to certain statutory law and case law. And I don't know if she's had time to review that or not. My letter, it requested dismissal for a couple of defenses that I've asserted. And if she's not prepared to move forward, maybe we can get this reset and we can discuss that statutory law and any additional case law.
I did see that this morning. So it's obvious we're not gonna reach an agreement as far as the current plea offer. If I could ask Your Honor to have this reset, maybe for another pretrial or even a final, to give us time to visit about what Mr. De Hoyos has brought up.
This will be set for final pretrial on the June docket. If not disposed of in that docket hearing, this will be set for it will be the number 2 setting trial on June 28th.
And to the pretrial docket, Your Honor, do we have a date on that?
Madam Clerk, can you give me the date on the June docket? Is the clerk on?
It'll be June 10th.
June 10th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can Ms. Welch be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
(20-08 U7847), the state of Texas versus Isis Marie Walters.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Dodd from Ms. Walters. Your Honor, I had a conversation day before yesterday with Ms. Guillen. I believe the state is going to be dismissing this case.
Ms. Guillen?
Yes, Your Honor, we need to have that prepared and submit that to the court. But that is the agreement that we're going to move forward with this case.
This case will be removed from the docket.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Ms. Walters be excused from your court?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
(20-09 U7848), the state of Texas versus Keith Stevens.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Judge James Jepson for Mr. Stevens. I believe that he's going to either be with us on Zoom or be there in person.
I saw him on Zoom earlier.
Okay.
I'm here, Judge.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, it's the same announcement. We have reached a plea agreement, and the state's just asking that this be set on the 20th with those others for plea where the attorney can appear possibly via Zoom and the defendant in person. It's a fine-only plea.
Case will be reset for May 20th for a plea in person. My assistant will reach out to both attorneys for a time slot.
Okay, Judge. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Move to 20-09 U7850, the state of Texas versus Colin Frazier.
Paul Williams for Mr. Frazier, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Colin Frazier. I'm here.
Morning. Any announcements on this case from either party?
Your Honor, I don't know if we've ever received a plea offer from Ms. can, we'd certainly be willing to entertain one, but assuming that we cannot reach an agreement, we would be ready to take this to trial at your June docket, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, my office has repeatedly sent emails regarding our discovery process, and I'm not sure if I'm sending them to the same ones that were on your appearance notice. However, y'all have not accessed the discovery or anything to date on our portal. So if you'd like to give me a call, possibly after court ends today, I'd be happy to visit with you about how to access that. There has been a plea offer sitting there for some time.
I'll give you a call as soon as we're through.
Okay, great.
All right.
This case will be reset for a final pretrial hearing on the June docket, and then this will be the number 3 trial setting for June 28th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. U7852, the state of Texas versus Rebecca Davila. And
Yes, Your Honor. Jeff
think Mr.
Walford here. I don't have video, but Rebecca is in the courtroom. She has this case number 15 on the docket, number 16, and number 22. We are going to plea that this morning, Judge. The state is working on the paperwork.
Perfect. We'll recall that. Thank you, Mr. Wofford.
Thank you, sir.
U7857, the state of Texas versus Dylan Craig Armendariz.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Dodd.
Morning.
I'm looking for Mr. Armendariz right now. Mr. Armendariz, are you present?
Dylan Craig.
Your Honor, I'm in the process of being retained by Mr. Armendariz. If can we recall this and let me find out why he's not on?
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Skihan, but I think we gave him a pass last month because he didn't appear either. Is my memory serving me?
I'd have to look back on the docket. I can't remember.
I believe he didn't show last month either, Mr. Dodd, and
Okay.
I think we gave him a free pass. So if you could try to get a hold of him.
Yeah, we are on that right now, Your Honor. May we recall this?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
U7858, the state of Texas versus Alejandro Carrillo Rivas. I think he's incarcerated, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. Good morning. Joe Hernandez for Mr. Carrillo Rivas. Is going to be a plea this morning, Your Honor. And Mr. Carrillo Rivas doesn't speak English. And of course, with your permission, and if there's no objection from Ms. Kagan, I would not mind interpreting for my client, Your Honor. I'm a certified interpreter anyway.
Yes, sir. We'll we can recall this for a plea in a little
Okay,
while.
sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
U7861, the state of Texas versus Ivan Sinceros.
Your Honor, Jeff Walford for the defendant. He has cause number 32 and 33 on the docket as well. We've been appointed to those. I don't see him here, Your Honor, and I did not see him on Zoom either. We haven't been able to touch base with him. The court appointed us to the 2 later cause numbers. I believe it was last month. The discovery for those is not yet on the portal. I talked to Paige about it yesterday. She said that it's going to be up pretty soon. So leave it in the court's hands, Judge, as to what you would want to do. We'd ask for a pass at this point.
We'll recall this for a possible bond forfeiture.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
U7867, the state of Texas versus Jesus Castillo Jr.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Dodd for Mr. Castillo. He is present in the digital courtroom. I have visited with Ms. Skian about this case. Mr. Castillo has a pending, currently unindicted felony drug charge pending before the 112th. I believe they're just waiting, I'm guessing, on labs. It hasn't been indicted. I know grand juries are moving pretty quick now, so I would look for that to happen hopefully sooner than later.
Your Honor, by way of announcement, the state would like to ask that this be removed from the docket. We're actually anticipating to 12:45 this matter into the felony.
Okay. This case will be removed from the docket. If it needs to be put on a later date, just let the clerk's office know.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Castillo be excused from the courtroom?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have 2009 U7869, the state of Texas versus Mariah Silva.
Yes, Your Honor, Jeff Wofford for Ms. Silva. She is in the courtroom. We have plea paperwork ready on that one. It just needs to be signed up, so we should be able to plead that this morning, Judge.
Perfect. We'll recall this one.
Thank you, Judge.
We'll move to 2009 U7872, the state of Texas versus Lauren Templin.
Yes, Your Honor, I have the same announcement on Ms. Templin. She's here. We have paperwork ready to go. We just sign it up and we'll let the court know this morning when it's ready.
Perfect. Recall.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Move to 2010 U7884, the state of Texas versus Cody Zamora.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Dodd for Mr. Zamora. I have seen Mr. Zamora in the courtroom. Mr. Zamora, if you could announce your presence.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Thank you.
If y'all could hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Morning.
Your Honor, I did have a chance to visit shortly with Ms. Skian the day before yesterday. I was supposed to follow up, I believe, with her, and I didn't call yesterday. I've been a little under the weather the last 2 weeks, and things are getting better. So if I could have a moment to, could we reset that to the next docket? I will visit with Ms. Zamora and announce at that, Ms. Skian, and announce at that time.
I have no objection. I just extended a plea offer this week, and I believe that's what Mr. Dodd and I really kind of need to dig into and discuss a little more on. So if we could have this reset to June, Your Honor, to give us that time.
Reset to the June docket. Thank you, Mr. Zamora, for appearing.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Zamora be excused.
Yes.
Thank you.
Move to 2010 U7885, the state of Texas versus Amin Lewis.
Your Honor, Orlando De Hoyos for Mr. Lewis. I think I saw Mr. Lewis there.
I'm here.
Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
I
in
am.
this case, Ms. Skian has forwarded again the discovery and also a plea offer. It's the same basic charge as my other case, the Heather Welch case. It's a UCW, and I forwarded over the information about the statutory law. So I'd ask for a reset and give us time. We may be on the next docket or the June 10th trial docket, but I'm thinking we can take care of it before then.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm going to ask for the same as the prior one. This was already a final pretrial setting, so if we could have a final pretrial, that first docket in June, I can have a chance to visit with Mr. De Hoyos about his letter yesterday. Would that be possible? And then if not, we could have trial at the end of June.
This is set for final pretrial today. So, if not disposed of on the 20th, we're going to find a trial date at the 1st of June. That works with both parties.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
With that, Your Honor, can I have Mr. Lewis dismiss or have him excused?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jan.
Your Honor, I think that's all I have. I may be wrong, but I think that's it. Can I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, Paige.
Yes, we'll talk to you later.
U7892, the state of Texas versus Aaron Fleming. Aaron Grain Fleming.
Your Honor, if I can have that recalled, I need to check with my notes. I believe I spoke with Mr. Fleming after the last setting.
Okay. We'll recall it.
Thank you.
20-11 U7886, the state of Texas versus John Helwig.
I believe his attorney filed a motion to continue. He had a conflict, I believe, in federal courts, Mr. Darnell. I think I saw that several weeks ago.
We'll reset this to the June docket. (20-12 U7905), the state of Texas versus Kelvin Bean III.
Did Mr. Bean receive his notice or did it return? Do we know?
I showed that he received. I don't have anything that shows it was returned. Does the clerk's office have any word on that?
We don't have anything, any return.
We'll recall this case. (21-01 U7906), the state of Texas versus Armando Gabaldon.
Your Honor, Jeff Wofford for the defendant. He's here this morning as well. We have paperwork ready on that case to plea this morning.
We'll recall for plea.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. 21-01 U7908, state of Texas versus Noe Villa Lobos.
(7908), I apologize. Is that what you just called?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If I could ask that this be pulled from the docket, we've entered into a PTD agreement with that. We're just getting the paperwork turned around so we can submit it to your office.
We'll remove that from the docket. 21-02 U7913, the state of Texas versus Tammy Lynn Wyatt.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Good morning. If my assistant will put myself, Miss Wyatt, and Miss Guillen in a breakout room, please.
Dylan. Hmm.
We'll move on to 2102 U7915, the state of Texas versus Moses Manuel Salcedo. Is Moses Salcedo in the room? Moses Manuel Salcedo. We'll recall this. We'll move forward to 2103 U7920, the state of Texas versus James Yeager. James Hunter Yeager, are you in the room? We'll recall this.
Judge, this is
Yes.
the clerk's office. An attorney's office did call our office. They're supposed to be submitting a waiver of arraignment and notice of appearance and request for discovery stay on e-file.
Okay, perfect.
They were just retained this morning.
Okay, we'll reset Mr. Yeager to the June docket.
Thank you.
Move to 2103 U7921, the state of Texas versus Michael Lewis Zuniga. Michael Lewis Zuniga. We'll recall this. 2103 U7922, the state of Texas versus Daniel Rivera.
Judge James Jepson for Mr. Rivera. Let me see, I don't think I'm on here. Yeah, there I am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Judge, on Daniel Rivera, I have this that we're gonna pass this till probably June. He has another case.
This is set for arraignment today, Mr. Jepson. Do you waive arraignment for your client?
I will waive arraignment for him, Judge. He has a felony also pending in Mitchell County that me and Miss Skian had discussed, and that's a rather serious charge over there. And we're gonna probably have to put this on the back burner a little bit to let me get that straightened out over there.
We'll reset this case to July.
Okay. All right, Judge, thank you. And that was the last one I had today.
Have a good day, Mr. Jepson.
Okay, thank you.
2103 U7924, the state of Texas versus Macy Watson. Macy Watson.
Out.
If someone's trying to speak, I can't hear you. I have. Oh, okay. I have Macy Watson's notice came back. We'll recall this one.
Gilman got logged out, but I'm logged back in.
Who's speaking? Who's speaking? We'll move on to 2103 U7925, the state of Texas versus Amanda Grogan.
Gilman Armendariz.
Amanda Grogan. We'll recall this. (2103 U7928), the state of Texas versus Gary Weber.
Honor, Stephen Dodd for Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber is present in the digital. We waive arraignment. I will submit a written waiver arraignment as well as my notice of appearance and discovery request.
Thank you. We'll reset to June.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Weber be excused.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mm.
2104 U7931, the state of Texas versus Edward De Leon Jr.
He's present with counsel, Your Honor.
Good
And
morning.
we're here on an arraignment. We filed a waiver of arraignment, and we waive arraignment in open court, Your Honor.
Yes. Is your client on the meeting?
He is.
Okay. Accept the waiver of arraignment. We'll reset this to the June docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
That was all I had. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
May I be 21.
Excused too, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Move to 2104 U7932, the state of Texas versus Luis Flores. Luis Xavier Flores. We'll recall this. 2104 U7933, state of Texas versus Emily Mullen.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Emily Nicole Moylan.
Ma'am, you stand charged by complaint of the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class A misdemeanor. If a person was to be found guilty of a Class A misdemeanor, they could receive up to 1 year in jail and up to a $4,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, ma'am, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
No contest.
I'm going to enter not guilty for you for the time being.
Okay.
That would, if you plead no contest, ma'am, we would have to go into a sentencing hearing today.
Okay.
But you have 3 options in a criminal case. You can hire an attorney. If you qualify, you can ask the court to appoint you, or you can waive your right to an attorney and speak with the prosecutor and dispose of your case yourself.
Okay.
Which one would you like to do?
Where I'm going to waive my right to an attorney.
Okay. I see you live in Florida, correct?
I do.
What we're gonna do, ma'am, if you just sit tight, I'm gonna read you the waiver, what it says, and then you can verbally agree to it. That would allow you to begin the process, and we'll get paperwork to you to actually sign the waiver. So just hang tight, and I'll get my court assistant to get me a waiver so I can read it to you, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, ma'am, what the waiver says, it says, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. You may hire an attorney. If you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you, and then also you may represent yourself. If you want an attorney to represent you and you have the money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to hire an attorney. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will fill out the proper paperwork and the financial questionnaire so that the court can determine if you qualify. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and request counsel from the court. Do you understand what I read to you?
I do.
And you want to waive your right to an attorney in order to speak with the prosecutor?
Yes.
Okay. If you could please give my court assistant currently right now, give me an email address for yourself, ma'am.
It's E.M. Nicole, Nicolem at yahoo.com.
Ma'am, she'll email you this paperwork to sign. You will need to sign it in front of a notary, have it notarized, scanned, and emailed back, okay?
Okay.
Do you have a pen handy, ma'am?
I can get one. Okay, I'm ready.
You'll write down the phone number of 432
Okay.
693 2222.
2222. So 432-693-2222.
Yes, that is the phone number to the prosecutor's office. You'll be able to speak to them after the paperwork's done, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll move to 2104 U7934, the state of Texas versus Israel Urias. Mr. Urias, can you hear me, sir? Okay, thank you. Mr. Urias, you stand charged by complaint for the offense of driving while intoxicated, which is a Class A misdemeanor. If a person was to be found of a Class A misdemeanor, they could receive up to 1 year in jail and up to a $4,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, sir, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty? I'm going to enter not guilty for you, sir. Mr. Urias, will you be hiring an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll reset this to June. You'll receive notice in the mail, sir, of your next court date. Please be with your attorney and make sure your attorney knows your court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. You're free to disconnect.
Thanks, sir.
I believe that's it for the ones we need to recall. Do you have anything different, Ms. Ski?
Sorry, no, nothing further from the state. If we could recess though, there are some attorneys in the courtroom that I do need to visit with. And I
Okay.
believe we have some pleas ready as well.
Yes, Mr. Dodd.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Stephen Dodd, I believe Mr. Armandaris has logged in. I wanted to let the court know.
He did.
Yeah,
I could hear. Okay. Do we have any announcements in this case?
Your Honor, may I announce?
Yes.
Yeah, Your Honor, I've recently, as in, I sent my agreement this morning and I got it back from Mr. Armandaris. I've just been retained. If we could set this to June, hopefully we'll know where we're at by then.
Any objection from the state?
No objection. We need to add Mr. Dodd to the portal so he can access discovery and the plea offer on that as well.
This case will be reset to the June docket.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that concludes all the cases I have before you today. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Armandaris. I'll have a good day.
Thank
yes,
you.
sir. Bye.
We'll leave the Zoom meeting up in case we need to come back to it, but we'll stand in recess until the state announces ready for pleas.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Mr. Salcedo, turn on your camera, please, sir. Thank you. Hold on one second. Mr. Salcedo, what time did your court appearance show to be on Zoom? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not too sure. I didn't receive a paper to this address. I guess it had went to my old address.
Okay.
So I received a phone call from my mom telling me that they were calling my name in court.
Oh,
So
okay.
I called the clerk's office and they gave me this email address to get on Zoom.
Perfect. Okay, so what you need to do after we're done is call the clerk's office back and give them a good address, okay?
Yeah, yes, sir. I had just did that as well while I was on the phone with them.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Salcedo, you stand charged by complaint for the offense of unlawful carrying of a weapon, which is a Class A misdemeanor. If a person was to be found guilty of a Class A misdemeanor, they could receive up to 1 year in jail and up to a $4,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, sir, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
If you were to plead guilty, sir, that would allow me to set sentence today. So let's enter not guilty for the time being. Mr. Salcedo, there's 3 options in a criminal case. You can hire an attorney to help you through the process. You can ask the court to appoint you an attorney if you qualify, or you can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself and speak with the prosecutor. Which option would you like to do?
How would I know if I qualify to get appointed one?
Are you working, sir?
No, sir.
How long have you been unemployed?
Maybe 6 months.
Okay. If you would, you can contact the clerk's office. They can forward you some paperwork to see if you qualify. Okay. And if you qualify, the court will appoint you an attorney.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to reset your case to June. You'll receive a notice of your reset, but go ahead and call the clerk's office again to get the paperwork. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Salcedo.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't know how to hang up.
You can hit leave at the bottom of your screen.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, your client is being set up right here in this room. You're muted, Mr. Hernandez.
There we go, Your Honor.
Perfect. Mr. Hernandez, I can clear that room if you need to talk to him privately. Do you need to talk to him privately before?
Not necessarily, Your Honor. The only thing that he needs, Mr. Carrillo Rivas, needs to do, there was an additional, a couple of Article 3914 disclosures that I signed, and that has been presented to Mr. Carrillo Rivas for him to sign. And I can explain that to him. It's not a problem. We do not need to meet outside of this courtroom, Judge.
Well, we'll call 2009U7858, the state of Texas versus Alejandro Carrillo Rivas. Is the state ready to proceed?
The state's ready.
Defense?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, proceed.
Apologize. Let me
Okay.
get to that one. Okay, Your Honor, the state has reached an agreement with the defendant and his attorney in exchange for a plea of guilty to the charge of driving while intoxicated. The state is recommending that the defendant be credited for time served. And we believe, or 180 days with credit for time served, which he has served that 180 days. We're also asking that the cost of court be covered by his days in jail. And I believe that's the full scope of the agreement. We're also asking that this court consider waiving the fine, the statutory traffic fine that will accompany this conviction on the DWI.
Mr. Hernandez, is that your understanding?
That is my understanding, Your Honor. If I may, if I can go ahead and inform Mr. Carrillo Rivas also that what he also needs to sign, Your Honor, on the 3914 disclosures. Señor Alejandro, ¿me escucha? ¿Me oye?
Sí.
Muy bien. Mire, lo que ahorita la señora fiscal está diciendo es que llegamos a un acuerdo donde usted se va a declarar culpable a manejar cuando andaba ebrio a cambio de tiempo servido, o sea que ya tiene usted cumplida la sentencia, que usted se va a declarar culpable basado en eso y que también está siendo muy generosa la señora Skean, la fiscal, dice que también va a cubrir claro, el juez tiene que aprobarlo, pero que para que no le cueste los costos de corte y todo eso, ¿entiende?
Ok, está bien.
Muy bien. Hay dos papeles ahí que le mandamos para que firme, señor Carrillo Rivas. Es donde dice que estamos dando sabiendas que usted, que usted está al tanto que recibimos toda la evidencia de la fiscalía y que estamos reconociendo que nos dieron todo lo que necesitábamos, que es un hecho, ¿ok? Y esos son los papeles que, si me hace favor, si los puede firmar, son dos documentos que necesita firmar, es donde de nuevo estamos dando sabiendas, reconociendo que se nos entregó toda la evidencia necesaria. ¿Está bien?
Ok, sí, está bien.
Ok, y usted se va a declarar culpable, como le digo, es la recomendación. ¿Lo entiende todo eso?
Sí, todo está bien.
Okay, Your Honor, I explained to Mr. Carrillo Rivas what Mrs. Kane said, that he would be pleading guilty to the offense, and also explained to him that he's going to be getting credit for time served as well as cost, subject to your approval, Your Honor, and that he also needs to sign the 3914 disclosure paperwork that we sent, which I already executed, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay, for purposes of the plea arrangement with the state, Mr. Hernandez, do you believe your client understands the paperwork and understands the plea?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you believe because your client has some immigration issues, do you believe your client is willingly pleading today without the threat of the immigration status?
He understands that, Your Honor. In fact, we spoke about that issue at length, and also about his right to communicate with the Mexican consulate. I'm an officer with the Mexican consulate. I'm the advisor both for the Rio consulate and the Presidio consulate, so that Mr. Carrillo Rivas is aware, and the Mexican government is aware of his problems, and he does understand there's consequences as far as immigration, his immigration status. There is a hold, an immigration hold. So he also has a felony pending. Once that is taken care of, then at that point, he understands he would be picked up by immigration and more than likely deported.
Okay, thank you. For purposes of the plea arrangement with the state, Mr. Alejandro Carrillo Rivas, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Pero a propósito de esto, ¿se está usted declarando culpable o no culpable?
Sí, culpable.
Guilty.
I'll approve the agreement with the state. The defendant is sentenced to 180 days jail and confinement. That is covered. I find that the defendant is indigent and the $3,000 statutory fine is waived. The court cost is covered by days in jail.
El juez lo encuentra culpable, está diciendo que le van a perdonar todos los costos que tuvo, así que no tiene que pagar un 5, le fue muy bien, y que él aprueba el acuerdo y su declaración de culpabilidad.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect. It is agreed. I'll hand the paperwork over to Mr. Rivas and the clerk to sign, and we'll be adjourned on this matter.
le va a dar los papeles para que usted firme y aquí termine el asunto.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez, where do you practice out of?
San Angelo, Your Honor.
Here's a shot in the dark. Would you be, would you want to be on the court appointed list for situations like this of Mr. Rivas where he's got immigration issues?
I do not mind at all, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. I'll have my assistant reach out to you and get your information.
Very good, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
And you have a good day, sir.
You too.
Thank you, patient.
Thank you.
Ms. Skin, just let me know who's next and when you want to go.
Iniciales. Sí, iniciales.
And bless you, Ms. Skin.
Thank you. I believe we'll have pleas ready per the docket. Mr. Wolford has several of his clients signed up and in the courtroom, as well as Tony Sanchez is here with a client that is not on the docket, but has previously been on the docket. And I believe we requested today to come in to plea with you. So there's several ready if you'd like to go to the courtroom.
We'll move
Well,
to the
he's-
courtroom.
Oh, okay.
Be on the list? Okay.
That'd be a good one for Spanish. Amen.
Mhm. Hey, Letty. That guy, I guess 'cause he didn't speak English, and that guy was telling me to initial all these. And he initialed them, but then I told him to work through them because he's not waiving his right to cancel on this paperwork. Well, because he don't speak English. So I had the jailer, no, he marked through his name.
Is there anybody else waiting to be heard on a criminal matter?